Hey guys, Nathan here. So today we're going over the Color Strobe effect, which was actually a viewer request. Yes, I do take requests, so be sure to leave any down in the comments. It's a really easy effect and works really well in music videos if you want to time the color change to the beat of the song. But before we get into that, be sure to hit the like button and get subscribed for lots more videos like this. I put out 2 Resolve tutorials a week, every Monday and Thursday, so be sure to get subscribed for lots more so you don't miss it. Anyway, let's get into it. So here we are in DaVinci Resolve 16, and this can be done totally in the free version of DaVinci Resolve. So if we just scrub through our clip, we just have a shot of these 2 people kissing in front of a fire. Now to add the black bars, I'm just gonna go into timeline, go down to output blanking, and select whatever aspect ratio you wanna have. We're gonna go with 235. And if you need, you could easily do some resizing by clicking on your clip, going into the inspector, and then moving things up or down, but we don't need to deal with that today. So as I said at the beginning of the video, this was a request, and they sent in this video and wanted me to try and replicate the effect. So to be totally honest, I do think the original video was done practically using a light and just changing the color of that light. However, this is my take at doing that effect in post. So what we want to do is change the color of the video to the beat of the music. Now we're going to start off with the easiest way to do this. So to match the beat of the music, I'm going to toss some headphones on just so I can know 100% for sure. But you can also go by your waveform. As you can see, each hit of the snare drum on it here as it kind of spikes. So what we want to do is we want to go into our effects. We're going to go into generator, and we're gonna go into solid color. We're gonna bring that down, and now it just starts off black. We want it to be red, so we'll select red. Let's just make the brightest red we can. Perfect. Now, that's for our red. If we wanna do a blue, I'm just gonna hit Alt, click on this, and drag it up to duplicate it. And then let's go with red, green, blue. So we'll go with green second. Perfect, and then again, just gonna duplicate this bad boy again, and change it to blue. Perfect. So now we have our red, green, and blue all on top of each other. So what we want to do is let's ignore these top 2 for a bit. So we're just going to mute these tracks. And you can see our video definitely goes to red, but it's just 100% red. Well, what we want to do is we want to actually see what's underneath it. So we can go into our composite modes, and these are also called blending modes. And we're going to want to scroll down. Now there's a number of different options you can use, but I find for this situation, overlay tends to work fairly well. So you just click on overlay, and then you can also take down the opacity percentage. So this is with 0 of it being added, and then this is with 100%. For this particular shot, I just want to park it right in the middle. So we're going to put it at 50% opacity, and boom, that's great. So we have it so that things are red, and if you want to see the before and after, you can just click it off and then on again, and it definitely is making things super duper red. But we want to change it to the beat. So what we want to do is we want to go over to our next beat, and that's where we want the green color to come in. So we're just going to take this red clip, end it right here, and then we'll enable the green clip. We're going to bring it over so that it starts right at the end of the red clip. Now we're just gonna go in, click on it, go to the inspector, go over to overlay, and then bring that down to, again, 50%, and we just rinse and repeat. So we're gonna drag it so that we can tell that's where our next snare drum is. We're then going to enable our clip for the blue, bring it over here, and then we're just gonna go into composite mode, go down to overlay again, and 50%. And then we'll trim it so that it lines up with the next snare hit. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much bang on. So now we play through. Awesome, we got it so that the first 3 worked out great. We're now gonna take them all down onto the same video track. And now what we can do is we can drag over these, hold in Alt, and just drag over, and boom. We've now doubled the length of it, and you can just continue to do that, so on and so forth. And if we just drag it over one more time, I think that should get us so that we're pretty much there. Perfect. So we can just delete the rest, and we have like the first 10 seconds done of this shot in no time at all. So if you want to make adjustments, what you could do is select everything in the clip, and then you can change the blend mode or the opacity. But another way you could also take care of this is, let's say we're going to go back to normal here, and then bring the opacity back to 100 for everything. So now what we could do is we could take this, right click and select new compound clip. You can then call it whatever you want. We're gonna call it Color Strobe, and boom. Now we have everything on one effect, and we can easily adjust the color mode. So go into overlay and set that to like 50%, and it's easy peasy, and everything is right there. So you can make adjustments more easily, but I also do like seeing it in individual clips because you can see exactly if it matches up with the beat of the song. So we're gonna go back to that with Control Z. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are a number of ways to do this effect, so let's go over another one. We're gonna go in and we're going to grab a adjustment clip. So we're gonna take that and drag that over top of everything, and I'll show you why we're using an adjustment clip in just a minute. Then gonna go on top of the adjustment clip and go down to our color page. So just looking at the color page, there's a ton of different ways you can change the color of this clip. You could do it in your primary wheels in the offset, or any of the other tonal ranges. And we could go into our curves, click on maybe the red channel, and just bring that all the way up, though that's a little crazy. You could even make adjustments in your hue slider. There's really a ton of different ways you can change the color, but what we're gonna be using today is actually in the hue versus hue of the curves. So we're just gonna click anywhere on the line, and we're just gonna drag it up. And as we drag it up, you notice things start to turn kind of blue, or you get down, things turn green. And one of the cool things is, if things are different colors, it's going to adjust their color differently. So that's kinda neat. Now, what we want is we want it to change over time. So we're gonna go over here to our keyframes. We're then gonna make sure we're at the front of the clip, and we're gonna hit this little diamond by corrector number 1. Now it's whatever corrector you're specifically using. So let's say if we're gonna add another node, you see there's 2 correctors. Well then, if we want to make the changes on the second node, we would hit for corrector 2, but we're only dealing with 1 node because we're just on an adjustment clip and there's no real grading done on this clip. We can hit this little arrow down here to expand, and you get a whole bunch of info telling you about all the things that you can keyframe within the color page. But all we're worried about today is the color corrector. So what we can do is let's just move forward a bit in our clip. Okay, great. Now let's make an adjustment to this hue versus hue. And you'll see right away we get another keyframe popping up. So if we go back, you can see it change to that color over time. So then we'll just go through our keyframes, maybe adjust it to a bunch of different colors, just literally pressing play and sliding through, and you see all these little keyframes pop up. And then at the end, maybe let's go back to the middle. So now we have all of our keyframes here. Well, what does that do for our video? Let's go back to the edit page. So now going back to the edit page, let's see this play out. Okay, so we have the color shifting. Okay, that's a really trippy effect, and we can make adjustments to it very easily. Let's say we want to extend it all the way up to the push. Great, we can then go back into our color page and add some more keyframes for the end here. So let's go to about here, sure, let's adjust this up. And just about at the end, yeah, right as she's about to push them, let's go back to normal. Awesome, and then we can just watch that back in the edit page. Cool. You can also watch it back in the color page, but I like to watch the waveforms to see exactly where we are on the beat. So I find this method with the adjustment clip is better to do if you don't need to match the beat exactly. Of course, you could also make those adjustments on the clip itself, but the benefit of the adjustment clip is I can easily drag this to another section of the clip, or I can just copy it over to another shot entirely, and easy peasy. So anyway, folks, that's how I do the color strobe effect. So maybe you can use it on your own videos. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a like and get subscribed for lots more like this. New videos every Monday and Thursday, and all Resolve tutorials. And as a fun little fact, like 84% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed. So if you want to get subscribed, that would certainly help me out a ton. Anyway, folks, have yourself a good one. Okay, bye.